Huzzah! You made it through the editing wilderness. Congrats, congrats. You can't see straight anymore. You've memorized everything everyone says throughout the course of the video. You're gonna have that royalty-free music running through your head for the next couple of weeks, and you're certain that you've forgotten something, which you'll inevitably discover as soon as you hit the upload button. Welcome to being a video creator. So now that the video is done, it just launches itself and brings you all the fame and glory and business that you ever dreamed of, right? That's how it works. Houston, we have a problem. I don't know about you, but if I had a nickel for every time that I finished a project and then just failed to actually tell people about it, I would probably be swimming in gold, Scrooge McDuck style. That's depressing. I am notoriously bad about not talking about videos I make after I make them, and maybe it's because I don't want to seem prideful because of those blasted Midwestern roots, or maybe I'm just sick of thinking about it and need to move on to the next item on my to-do list, but regardless, do not be like me on this. It costs money to make videos, and your time is also money. It's more intensive to make a video than a blog or a podcast, and there's maybe more potential here, but the cost associated with doing it well is also quite high, as you've learned in these many weeks of working together. So how do you get the word out about a video you made, and how do you make sure it gets used in the ways that you want it to get used? Now, many of you maybe already have marketing and communications plans for your businesses, and if so, you'll need to figure out how this video fits in with everything else that you've got going on. But for those of you who are a little newer to this, I minimally suggest that you think about 3 big things: email, social media, and your website. If you have an email list, and if you don't, you maybe want to get one, this is your most important commodity. Because the people who sign up for your email list are people who have actually willingly given you their contact information, probably because they want to hear what you're up to and stay connected with you. Chances are pretty good that they probably don't actually mind hearing from you, so be sure to tell them about your video. And as a side note, I'd like to thank all of you for trusting me with your contact information these many weeks. I hope you found it helpful. So the social internet has become kind of a weird and somewhat toxic place as of late, but there are some professional communities that you can find on some of the major social media platforms. It's probably also where a lot of your audience spends their downtime, so being someone they want to connect with in those spaces is a valuable commodity as well. So when you make a video, be sure you're thinking about which social media platforms you want to share that video on. Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter are probably the big 3, though LinkedIn is becoming a bigger place for professionals to meet online as well. If you have a website, you should definitely be embedding videos on it. One study that was reported recently in Forbes found that people spend 88% more time on a website that has a video embedded on it. So if you want to keep people on your site, which you probably do, embedding video is a really great way to do that. Plus, then you can link to other resources and products that you might have on your website that your viewer might find valuable. Now, there are a bunch of nuances for how to optimize your content for each one of these social platforms, and that's really a little outside the scope of this series. However, there are a couple of pro tips I want to give you to get you started. First off, create images or thumbnails for each social media platform you use. So if you're uploading your video to YouTube, be sure it has a YouTube-specific thumbnail. And if you're sharing your video via email, make sure that you have a pretty graphic or image to go with it. This is all about those sweet, sweet clicks. People are much more likely to click on nice-looking images as compared to that, for example. It's really cute. Now, of course, all of these social media platforms couldn't use the same standard image resolution. That would just be wrong. So how do you make all of those images with their different resolution sizes for each individual platform? I really recommend using Canva, and no, they're not sponsoring this video, I just really like them. So Canva is an online graphic design tool that has all of these amazing templates for the different social media platforms and gives you lots of great design ideas to get you started. I've always been really bad at visual design, and Canva makes me look like I know what I'm doing. It's kind of great. Another pro tip, if you're planning on sharing your video on Facebook, consider sharing it natively on Facebook rather than sharing a link to a YouTube video on Facebook. Why is this, you ask? Well, Facebook and YouTube are competitors, which means that Facebook's algorithm, or the thing that decides what content your followers see and what content they don't, actually suppresses YouTube links. One way to avoid some of this suppression is by making sure that your post with your YouTube link also has an image associated with it. This is kind of what I mean by that. Adding an image that you upload directly to your post might help combat some of that suppression effect, though it's a little unclear. Side note that this is all circa late 2019, so who the heck knows what's going to happen in the future and how that's going to affect everything. So, stay tuned. Lastly, be sure to share your video in more than one place and with more than one message. The more you can diversify your sharing, the better, and keep talking about your video. Remember that not everyone is going to see every post that you make about your content. Now, don't become too pushy and don't only talk about your one video, but talking about your stuff in multiple places and for longer periods of time is totally okay. All right, how are we feeling? Totally overwhelmed? I get it. It's a lot, especially after all that work you already put into making the video. But here's the thing, you want to get the most bang for your buck out of your video, right? Then you definitely owe it to yourself and your business to put in the time and energy it takes to share it well. As always, you can check out some of the questions to ponder and the Jumpstart activity right over here. And we're reaching the end of our time together in the Video Your Way series, which makes me really sad. But I'll have one more email for you next week, so stay tuned. Thanks for watching, and if you're interested in a little bit more one-on-one conversation about how you can meet your video making goals, let's talk. I offer free 1-hour consultations if you're interested, so follow that link over there to get connected. You can also head over there to check out some of the other resources I offer about making videos. And thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Now go forth and make some video your way.